Eagles fans get some great and exciting news going into the preseason opener against the Cincinnati Bengals on Thursday night. We're talking about that on today's Philadelphia Eagles Now. My name is Chase Sr. As always, thank you so much for supporting the channel. And speaking of preseason game number one, join us Thursday right here on the channel live. Eagles-Bengals watch party. We're going to do an hour pregame show to really preview that game, take a look at some players to watch because obviously there are some roster and position battles that are going to be important for Philadelphia going into that tilt. Show begins at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 p.m. Pacific, so don't forget to hit that subscribe button, turn your notifications on, because whenever I push out a show like this, whenever we go live, you will be notified. And since we're content daddies here on the program, you know how it goes. If you want an Eagles-Bengals preseason preview for me to do tomorrow morning on Wednesday, August 6th, a day before the game, I want you to show us by hitting that thumbs up icon and liking the video. This is pretty exciting. I know the Eagles aren't calling themselves the defending Super Bowl champions, but they are the defending Super Bowl champions. And when the Eagles hit the field at Lincoln Financial Field on Thursday night, the crowd is going to go crazy. This is the first time that Eagles fans will be able to see Philadelphia since they won the Super Bowl last year. And I can guarantee you that at the Link, which carries about 67,000, 68,000 fans, maybe upwards of 70,000 if you count standing room only tickets, there are going to be a bunch of Eagles fans there. Maybe the joint isn't going to be sold out, but it's going to be damn close because the hype around this football team is real. Kickoff Thursday night, August 7th, of course, at the Link in South Philadelphia. And for you degenerate gamblers out there, you can bet on this game. I don't encourage it, kinda, but you can bet on this game and throw some cheddar down if you want. The Birds, 1.5-point favorites. The over-under at 35.5. It's a preseason game. Of course, that total for points scored is going to be very low because oftentimes starters don't play. But that is not going to be the case for the Cincinnati Bengals. This is what is great and exciting news for Eagles fans out there. Bengals head coach Zac Taylor saying today that his Bengals starters will not only start the game, they will play several series on Thursday. Talk about a litmus test for this Eagles defense in particular. Now, a lot of you are probably wondering, this is an idiotic approach. Nick Sirianni, especially on the offensive side of the ball, has barely played his starters since coming to Philadelphia in 2021. Why would the Bengals do this? This is the reason why. Under Zac Taylor, the Bengals are 7-15-1 since he took over as head coach in 2019. And they really need to get off to a better start during the 2025 campaign. Now, his first season with the Bengals, it was a rebuilding year. That year, the Bengals started 0-11. That was Joe Burrow's, I believe, rookie year? No, that was before Burrow was a rookie because he was the number one overall pick in the 2020 draft. That legendary LSU team won the Natty in 2019. And so Zac Taylor didn't have a lot to work with, right? And so in September, in his debut year as a head coach, Bengals went 0-4. Then when Joe Burrow was a rookie, 0-2-1, that tie to the Philadelphia Eagles, Doug Peterson's final year with the Eagles. And in 2021, they reversed course. That was the year that Cincinnati made it to the Super Bowl, lost that thriller to the Los Angeles Rams. They went 3-1 in September that year. But in 2022, 2-2. 2023, 1-2. And then last year, 1-3. The Bengals are also 1-11 the first 2 weeks under Zac Taylor since he took over in 2019. So he is trying to right his wrongs. He is hoping that his team can reverse course and get off to a good start in a division, the AFC North, that is stacked, loaded, very intriguing, and I expect it to be a division that can come down to the final few weeks of the regular season. Taylor also, as an individual, feeling some heat going into 2025. If the Bengals do not perform up to expectations, if they struggle this year with Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, a new DC, rebuilding that defense to a certain extent, they've got a really talented offense and a defense that they hope can make improvements. We'll see what happens with Trey Hendrickson And if they don't improve this year as a team, if they don't make it to the playoffs / make a playoff run, Zac Taylor could be on his way out. The Bengals need to and want to start faster, and that's why Taylor has this approach for preseason game number 1. Now, Nick Sirianni on the other sideline has not revealed if the Eagles starters will play as of this recording on Tuesday night, August 5th. But this is a great test for this Eagles defense. Vic Fangio, notably last year, implementing and introducing this new scheme, did play a lot of his defensive starters last preseason. Even in that final preseason game, we saw the likes of Bryce Huff playing deep into that preseason finale because Fangio wanted to and needed to see more. And against this Bengals team, it really gives Fangio, because this Bengals offense is loaded, a key look at some of the top key personnel. So some defensive spots to watch and storylines to watch going into Thursday's game. Cornerback 2, opposite of Quinyon Mitchell. Obviously, this is if the Eagles and Vic Fangio play their starters. Keely Ringo, Adoree Jackson now competing with a marquee trade acquisition for Philadelphia and that big trade that they made last night with the Las Vegas Raiders. The edge rusher rotation, we know that Nolan Smith and Jalix Hunt are the top 2 edge rushers, but there's a battle between Josh Uche and Azeez Ojulari. Antoine Powell-Ryland is hoping to be a part of that rotation too. With the Eagles trading away Thomas Booker, I think they like some of the other defensive tackles outside of Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, and Moro Ajomo. I'm talking about a player like Gabe Hall, who could end up making this team after the Eagles traded away Thomas Booker. Linebacker 2, alongside Zach Bond. Zach Bond, regardless, is not going to play because of that back contusion. So who starts, who gets a long and extended look, and could a linebacker end up winning a starting role alongside Bond, whether it be Jeremiah Trotter Jr. or Jahad Campbell? Really can't wait to see how Jahad Campbell looks in his first professional game. How does Vic Fangio use him? Off-ball linebacker? Edge rusher? A little bit of both? The safety competition? We'll have our eyes peeled on that. How is Cooper DeJean used? He's been utilized as a safety in some defensive formations, and then he moves to slot corner. But Vic Fangio seems to really like him at that safety spot because of the smarts and instincts on that back end. And can Quinyon Mitchell put the clamps on Jamar Chase again? In Cincinnati last year, I thought he did a terrific job going up against Jamar Chase. And how about Cooper DeJean with that 4th down stop on Jamar Chase in the flat? That was a tremendous play as well. You want to put your defense to the test? Vic Fangio, you can do it going up against Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins. And the Bengals didn't make the playoffs last year, so a lot of people don't realize how good and how elite Joe Burrow was. His numbers in 2024 were ridiculous. He threw for 4,900 yards, 43 touchdowns, 9 picks. His completion rate was 70.6, and his yards per attempt at 7.5. His win-loss record, 9-8, but not good enough for Cincinnati to make the dance because they started off very slow and they lost a lot of close games. For Eagles fans attending this game, it's kind of crazy that preseason tickets are as expensive as they are, but at least you get to watch some really good football from one sideline at the very least, and hopefully from this Eagles defense, maybe they trot out some ones as well. So who you got in this preseason affair? CIN for the Bengals, PHI for the Eagles. Get those predictions down in the comment section. I'm excited to post that because that just means we're getting ready to the real thing. These Saquon Barkley Kelly Green jerseys are 20% off. They were $130. They are now on sale for just $104. Limited time only, though. Get yours ASAP before they run out because this deal is hot. All sizes available. Head to chatsports.com/Saquon Kelly. You use that link, you will get that discount. It's chatsports.com/Saquon Kelly. And speaking of Saquon Barkley, he compared Jahad Campbell yesterday to Micah Parsons. I put up a YouTube short talking about this, but I wanted to hit on it here on the show as well. Here's a direct quote from Saquon, a little scouting report from the Eagles RB1 talking about the Eagles' first-round pick and that comparison to Micah. He said this about Campbell: super raw, freaky athletic. He's going to be a problem, a real big problem for a lot of guys in the league who have to go up against him and block him. He's kind of built like Micah Parsons a little bit. I've known Micah for a long time. That's the Penn State connection there, by the way. So I feel like as he grows and learns the game a little bit more, you're going to be able to put him in different spots, but just raw, uber athletic. He can fly. He's aggressive, probably too aggressive in camp right now, to be honest. He said with a laugh, got to teach him to stay away from the guys in red. Those are the quarterbacks wearing the red jerseys, and knowing when to tag off and take shots. But we'd rather him be more aggressive than not. So it's fun. It's fun to go against him every single day. And he asks a lot of questions. He asks a lot of questions, whether it's asking Zach and those guys, or I might have made a move that might have worked with him. He comes up to me, seeing what I saw. So I'm really excited for him. I just think that the Eagles knocked it out of the park with this draft selection. And working off of what Saquon said, given Campbell's experience and his background as an edge rusher, he was recruited to Alabama as a pass rusher. Then Alabama had so many injuries at off-ball linebacker, so Nick Saban had him switch. I can't wait to see how Vic Fangio utilizes him. As far as players trying to block Jahad Campbell, ask Ben Van Sumeren about that. He was the lead blocker as a fullback. He got stood up and smacked by Jahad Campbell to the degree where Ben Van Sumeren got hurt. Saquon knows about Campbell's athleticism. He tried to get to the perimeter in a practice last week or the week before, and Campbell was able to track him down. Just a stud. Length, speed, pursuit, plays with confidence, swagger like he shot out of a cannon. I like the mentality, and I really like the skill set. Cannot wait to see him on the football field. If you made it to the end of the video, I want you to give me a Go Birds down in the comment section. We're talking about real Eagles football, and it has me fired up.